Self-love won't save you. The life and death difference between comfort and transformation. By Seth, the Red Neo, Chairpack. Introduction. The life most people drift into.
Most people think fear is the enemy. We blame fear when we're afraid to ask for a date, leave the wrong relationship, start a business, get in better health, tell the truth, find our purpose, or become who we were meant to become. More often, the problem is comfort. If fear were the main thing destroying lives, the evidence would look different. Instead, the evidence looks like slow decline hiding inside ordinary life. According to the CDC, 3 in 4 American adults have at least one chronic condition, and over half have 2 or more. According to the CDC's National Center for Health Statistics, adult obesity prevalence was 40.3% during August 2021 to August 2023. According to the U.S. Surgeon General, about 1 in 2 adults in America reported loneliness in recent years. According to HHS, poor social connection is associated with a 29% higher risk of heart disease and a 32% higher risk of stroke. According to Gallup, only 31% of U.S. employees were engaged at work in 2024, while 17% were actively disengaged. According to the Federal Reserve, only 55% of adults in 2024 said they had enough savings set aside to cover 3 months of expenses. And according to the World Health Organization, people who are insufficiently active have a 20% to 30% higher risk of death than people who are sufficiently active. That is not what a culture losing only to dramatic fear looks like. That looks like drift. That looks like people slowly trading strength for ease, aliveness for manageability, truth for tolerance, and purpose for whatever gets them through the week. And before you push this out to society, stop. This is personal. This is your body, your marriage, your work, your sleep, your money, your standards, your future. This is your alarm going off in the morning and your first feeling is heaviness. This is the stale taste in your mouth after another bad night of sleep. This is your shirt fitting tighter and pretending not to notice. This is the low-grade dread in your chest on Sunday night. This is opening your banking app and feeling that drop in your stomach because there is still not enough margin. This is sitting across from someone you built a life with and realizing the relationship still functions, but something alive in it has gone quiet. This is calling your job stable when the truth is that it is flattening you. This is saying you still have time to find your purpose while your life keeps filling up with smaller substitutes for it. That is where this book begins. Not with a theory, with a pattern. New subheader, The Quiet Predator, that's deadlier than fear. Fear can stop a person from moving. Comfort can stop a person from becoming. Fear is loud. Comfort is quiet. Fear announces itself. Comfort disguises itself. It comes dressed as relief, as self-protection, as self-care, as realism, as not right now, as I'll deal with it later, as this isn't that bad. That is why comfort is the more successful predator. It almost never destroys a life in one obvious moment. It does it through repetition, skipping the workout because you are tired, ordering the food because you had a long day, avoiding the conversation because tonight does not feel ideal, staying in the job because it pays the bills, putting off the blood work because you do not want bad news, calling the marriage fine because it has not exploded, calling yourself practical because you no longer expect to feel deeply alive. None of those moments feels fatal. That is exactly the problem. Comfort almost never introduces itself as danger. By the time it looks dangerous, it has usually been in charge for years. Fear may block a few big moves. Comfort trains a person into thousands of small surrenders. Fear makes you hesitate. Comfort makes you settle. And a settled life can look respectable long after it has started to die from the inside. New subheader: How Drift Quietly Hardens into Destiny. Almost no one chooses a diminished life on purpose. No one says at 18, I want to become weaker every year. I want less energy, less courage, less intimacy, less honesty, less purpose, and more resignation. That is not how people arrive there. They drift there. Drift is what happens when repeated tolerances set the direction of your life more than deliberate convictions do. It is the appetite you keep excusing, the warning sign you keep postponing, the truth you keep softening, the compromise you keep normalizing, the comfort you keep protecting because change would cost you something now. The danger is that drift does not feel like destiny while it is happening. It feels like being realistic. It feels like keeping the peace. It feels like protecting your energy. It feels like waiting for a better time. It feels like one small exception. But reality records it anyway. Your body records it. Your habits record it. Your bank account records it. Your relationships record it. Your children record it. Your conscience records it. Then one day what you practice becomes who you are. That is how drift hardens into destiny. New subheader: Why a Normal Life Can Still End in Ruin. One of the most dangerous lies in modern life is this: if it is common, it must not be that bad. Wrong. Common is not the same as healthy. Common is not the same as strong. Common is not the same as wise. Common is not the same as alive. It is now common to be exhausted, common to be overweight, common to be lonely, common to dislike your work, common to live without financial margin, common to postpone difficult truths until they become expensive, and because these things are common, people stop reading them as danger. They call them adulthood, they call them stress, they call them being busy, they call them the price of life. Sometimes they are the price of comfort. Sometimes they are the invoice for years of slow compromise. Ruin does not always arrive as scandal or collapse. Sometimes it is far more ordinary. It is the extra 40 pounds you now call normal. It is the marriage where you discuss logistics more than dreams. It is the child learning your level of aliveness by watching your face. It is the promotion you took because it was safe, then resenting the life it bought you. It is lying in bed at night with your phone 6 inches from your face because distraction feels easier than honesty. It is becoming skilled at coping with a life you were never meant to settle for. That is still ruin. Not because it is dramatic, because it is diminished. This book begins here because before you can change your life, you have to stop lying about the trajectory you are on. Before you can defeat the real enemy, you have to stop misnaming it. Before you can build a life of strength, intimacy, health, purpose, and alignment, you have to wake up to what comfort is already costing you.
Question and action. Question: where in your life have you been calling something normal, manageable, or fine simply because confronting it would require immediate discomfort? Action: write down one area where comfort has been running the show: your body, your relationship, your work, your money, or your purpose, and tell the truth about what it is costing you. End of the introduction of Self-Love Won't Save You by Seth Chairpack.